Can the Black Phone 2 live up to what was a solid outing in the first The Black Phone? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, and welcome back into the channel. We got another film rant review for you here today. We are reviewing The Black Phone 2, directed by Scott Derrickson. So, is this a worthy sequel to what was a very solid film, what I thought for the first one? I would say so. Just overall, it's a pretty solid film. It's definitely a Scott Derrickson film. He likes to play around with like film grain and things like that, and he does that quite excessively in this film. So you'll get a lot of different film grains and a different kind of variations of the image that you're seeing to kind of differentiate kind of where you are in the story. So I'd say overall, solid outing, solid film. It definitely takes its time to kind of get to the point and get to the action, which both helps and hurts the film a little bit. I would say it's definitely kind of slow at the beginning. You do get some scares and get some nice good setup, but you get a lot of exposition dump scenes. And those are sprinkled very much throughout the film, but definitely a lot in the first 2/3 of the film. You get a lot of like creepy scene and then exposition dump about like what's going on and things like that. So definitely kind of a mixed bag, especially tonally from the beginning of kind of getting you into it. But I'd say definitely when it hits that third act, it definitely hits its stride. And I was bought in for what it was doing. It definitely has Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, kind of a mixture of Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, or I would say 4 and 5, actually. A little bit of 3, 4, and 5, kind of that realm of films. Especially if you're going off of the lore and things like that. They kind of explain to you what's going on. Again, this film is definitely a sequel to what we had previously saw. So kind of a setup is our two main characters, the brother and sister duo, are now wrapped up in another kind of sequence with dead children and the grabber again. So... And obviously we have to see what happens because the grabber died in the first one. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the first one. So what happens next and how do you explain that? And, you know, what's the lore of what's going on? So that's really what explained in the film. And I thought they did a pretty good job of kind of explaining to you what's going on for the most part and kind of wrapping it up and wrapping it all together. Mason Times and Ethan Hawke are definitely very good in this film. They were definitely the standouts in the first film, but really the big standout in this film to me is Madeline McGraw, who plays the sister. She definitely really stands out. She's given a lot to do in this film. She was arguably, I would say, the primary main character of the film. And she's given a lot of range and a lot of things to do. She has to be scared, has to be emotional, has to be funny. And I thought for the most part, it hit well for me. I watched it with a friend of mine, and this film definitely didn't hit him at all. And he thought some of the aspects of it were kind of laughably bad and things like that, especially around Madeline McGraw's character, Gwen. So it's kind of hit and miss, you know, film is all subjective, kind of how you interpret it, how you internalize it and things like that. So you never know how it will hit for you. For me, it hit pretty well. For my friend, not so much. So that's kind of how that went. But I would say, yeah, again, the film ramps up pretty well, and I really enjoyed the third act. I thought it was pretty fun, pretty intense and things like that, and had a relatively satisfying conclusion. So not necessarily begging on it for the most part because of the beginning was a little slow and kind of exposition-y, but I thought it ramped up pretty well and overall was a solid enough film. And I think it is a worthy sequel. It's a good franchise to continue going with, and who knows if it'll go on for the franchise moving forward, if they'll continue, if this film is successful. I think it kind of leaves the door open for that. Much like Nightmare on Elm Street series, I'd say it's very akin to that, which is my preferred franchise, and we'll get to learn that on the channel, I think. I do love Nightmare on Elm Street, so this definitely, the vibes of it kind of vibed well with me, which I think attributed to me overall liking the film. So yeah, I would say ultimately my final review score of it would be 3.5 stars out of 5. Definitely, I'd say one worth going out and seeing. I'm actually going to be seeing it again tomorrow, which is the day I'm recording it just after watching the film. So I'm watching it again, bringing my daughter. The first horror film I brought my daughter to see in the theater was The Black Phone, and she really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited to kind of see her thoughts on this one. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a good time for her. But again, really appreciate you watching the review. If you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the film. Put that in the comments. Kind of what do you like about it? What do you not like? What do you like about horror films or just films in general? Just want a active discussion in the comments if at all possible. Really appreciate it. Follow me on Letterboxd if you can. Should have it somewhere in here, kind of where you can find that. So really appreciate it. All right. Well, thank you again for watching the review. But if I don't see you again, bye forever.